Hello, and welcome to the Apex 4.2 Advanced Tutorial Series, number 1, Creating a Tabular Form, produced by M&S Consulting. This new series is an updated version of our original tutorial series that uses the newer versions of the Apex software. On the screen is a list of the requirements you will need in order to complete this tutorial, and you should need about 30 to 60 minutes depending on how you wish to work. Also on the screen is the location of a more in-depth article, which covers some differences between Apex 3 and Apex 4, as well as touches on some of the items in the tutorial in more depth. So you are aware we are using Apex 4.2 with Oracle Express Edition 11G on a Windows 7 professional machine. So just what is a tabular form? A tabular form is a way to display and view multiple records from a given table at once. You can also delete records from that table, change data within a given record in the table, as well as add new rows and new data to that same table. It's one of the most useful and one of the most common types of forms you'll build using Apex or in many other database applications. Ours is a fairly simple one, and here's how we're going to go about it. First thing we're going to do is log into our Apex developers environment. So we make sure we give it our workspace. This should be the workspace where the OEHR sample data is installed, our username, and our password. We're going to log in. There have been many visual changes to Application Express, or Apex, but most of the functionality is still there. We still have our application builder, we have our SQL workshop, and we have our administration tabs. Most of these tutorial series will be dealing with the application builder. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And this here is our application builder screen. You can see we have a sample database application and our OEHR sample objects. We're going to click Create to create a new application. It's going to be a database type. So we're going to make sure that's selected and click Next. The application number can stay the same. We're going to change the name of the application to be Tabular Form. The schema needs to be the schema where the OEHR sample data is installed. The Create options, we're going to drop down this list and select Start from Scratch. This item is changed a little bit from Apex 3. Then we're going to go ahead and click Next. We're going to get to our pages. It'll take a moment for Apex to catch up with us here. From here we can add any kinds of pages we want. We just need to add a blank page. Now you do have the option down here to change the page name, but we don't need to do that. So we're just going to click Add Page. And you'll see that the page has been added. So once we know that the page is there, we can go ahead and click Next. And we are not going to copy any shared components from other applications. So you can go ahead and click Next. The attributes, we can accept all the defaults. This screen is a little different than the one in Apex 3. It gives us a little bit more flexibility. But for most of what we'll be doing, the defaults are fine. So once we double check that, we can go ahead and click Next. And then there's the user theme. Now we can use any theme we want, but so that we're a little more in line with the original documentation that is provided by Oracle, we're going to drop down the select box and select Legacy Themes. And then we're going to select Builder Blue, which is theme number 2. And we're going to go ahead and click Next. We're going to check all of our settings, make sure they're correct, and then we're going to click Create Application. We'll get a screen here that this is the application home page. You'll see here that it shows all the pages that are in the application, including the automatically generated login page. Now, in order to do our tabular form, we're going to need another page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click Create Page. And we're going to tell it that we want to do a form. So we're going to select the radio button and then click Next. There is also an option that you can tell it to show all types of pages, whether or not they're supported by your current application. We have that disabled, so only those things which are valid for this application will show up. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And then we're going to create a tabular form. I'm going to click Next. This is where we select where it's going to get its data from. The table or view owner is the owner of the tables we're looking for. In this case, it's the M&S. We're going to make sure that we allow for update, insert, and delete. And then under the tables, we're going to drop down the select list, and we're going to get a huge list of all of the tables that the system can see under that owner. We're going to select our OEHR employees table. Now when Apex first does this, Apex will populate everything into the right-hand box. The difference between the two boxes is anything that is on the left will not show up in the end form, and anything in the right will. An easy way to remember this is that if you want fields to be left out, you put them in the left box. We don't need all this data because this is a very simple sample application. If you were building this for real, you would actually probably want all these fields. But we're just going to take a moment here and take out the fields we don't need. And let's just take a moment here, double checking my notes, just to make sure there's no additional confusion. And once we get this all set, we're going to go up and we're going to click Next. Now it's going to ask us how we want to define the primary key. You can have it managed by the database, but what we're going to do is we're going to say select primary key columns. When we do that, it'll drop down and create these two list boxes. And we're going to select employee ID. And after this is all set, we're going to go ahead and click Next. And it's going to ask us about the trigger. You can generate a new trigger, you can use an existing sequence, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're using the existing trigger. So we're going to just double check that, make sure it's okay, which it is, and we're going to click Next. Now this next page is similar to the other page in that we have our left and right boxes. What we're doing here is we're saying which columns can be updated. Any column that's in the left, the user will not have the ability to update. But we want all of them, so we'll just click Next. Here on the attributes, the page number can say 2. That means it's going to be a new page. And under page name, we're going to call it Tabular Form. And the region title is going to stay the same, and so is the region and report templates. And we're not going to add a breadcrumb region to the page. In case you're unfamiliar with it, the breadcrumbs and the breadcrumb region refers to this area up at the top, which has a list of arrow-like icons that shows you the exact path of pages you took to get to where you currently are. I'm going to go ahead and click Next. We are not going to use tabs. We can go ahead and click Next. And this page allows us to adjust our button appearance and branching. Basically, this allows us to change the label that appears on the button. We're going to change the label on the Submit button to say Apply Changes. And the branching is all fine. So we're going to go ahead, and once that's set, we're going to click Next. And then we're going to just confirm our choices real quick and click Create. It shows us, big screen, says it's been created, and now we're going to run the page. Just like with Apex 3, the first time you want to test the page or use the page, it's going to make you log in. So we're going to go ahead and log in. And we see our form. We have all of our columns that were there. We have our 3 buttons for cancel, delete, apply changes, as well as one for add row. All in all, it looks pretty good. Now the only problem is there is a way that a user can enter bad data right now, and that's the department ID. So we're going to make a change to that. We're going to change it to a select list. Now how we're going to do that is down at the bottom of the screen is our developer toolbar, and we're going to click Edit Page 2. This is going to bring us to our component view. This is the view that's very similar to Apex 3. Now there is another view that is actually the default on a fresh install of Apex 4, and that's called Tree View, which I'm going to switch to so you can see it. Everything is still there, it's just laid out more like a directory structure would be from like Windows File Explorer. but I'm going to go ahead and switch back to component view because I personally find it a little easier, and also that's what the screenshots in the original documentation file reference. Now, in order to change this department ID to a select list, we have to first create what's called a list of values. So over here on the right, there's this thing that says list of values, and we're going to click the plus mark next to it so we can create a new list of values. We're going to make sure we're creating it from scratch, and then click next, and we're going to call its name DEPT ID, and it's going to be a dynamic list of values. Click next, and now it wants us to enter the query that will drive it. On the call box, there is the full query to drive the select list. Every entry in a select list has to have a displayed value and a return value. That's why you see the department ID twice in the query. But once that's set, we can go ahead and click Create List of Values. And there'll be a small box that pops up at the top. It's cut off in my screenshot here, and I apologize. It tells you it's been created. You'll notice it's not listed yet on the screen because in Apex 4, it doesn't list until you actually attach it. So over on the left-hand side, under Regions, we're going to click the Report link, and this brings up a list of all of the fields in our report. This screen has changed a little bit from Apex 3, as has some of the other attributes, so you need to be careful and make sure that you're clicking where you want to click. But under here where it says Department ID, we're going to click the pencil that's to the left of it. This will bring up the column attributes for Department ID. And what we're going to do is twofold. We're first going to change the display as, it's currently a text field. We're going to change that to be a select list using a named LOV. And when we do that, it will change some of the options that are below it, which we're going to scroll down to. And we're going to scroll down to the area that says List of Values. And in the select box, I'm going to drop it down, and you see there's our DEPT ID. So we're going to click that, and then we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to click Apply Changes. And then we're going to run the page, which is this small square icon with the arrow, kind of like the play button on your old cassette decks. That's the new run page icon. They changed it. And here's our new form. As you can see, we have everything we did before, but Department ID is now a select list, meaning that we never have to worry about invalid data being entered by the user. That completes this tutorial in the new Apex 4.2 series. We hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to check out our YouTube channel for more helpful tutorials and other information from M&S Consulting.